And you see the same voices that are demanding a ceasefire in Gaza post-October 7th, then what? Oppose peace in Europe? It makes no sense. It was Zelenskyy last September, as part of his victory plan, it was Zelenskyy that proposed, hey, let's go into a partnership together. We have aluminum, we have gallium, we have tritium, we have all of these rare earth minerals that the modern economy needs. Here's the bottom line. President Zelenskyy is going to sign that deal. And you will see that in the very short term.
I don't have a chainsaw for you. That's the only thing I couldn't get on the stage. You know, Elon Musk came in with the present.
As a Green Beret, I left the belt-fed machine gun at home.
There you
Thank
go.
God the Secret
there you
Service
go.
Secret Service
But you know,
okay.
maybe next time just bring it if you'd like. But how are y'all doing this morning? Okay, so how amazing was it yesterday? Seriously. I don't know how we can top it off, but we're going to top it off this morning with just one of our heroes right now in the Trump administration, someone who CPAC, someone that Matt and I admire so much, our National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz. So let's jump right in. Obviously, you've just come back from Saudi Arabia. You were meeting with Russian officials on really looking to find a solution to end the war in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. Tell me first how those negotiations are going. Any insight that you can give to our CPAC family here in terms of progress that's being made?
Well, let me make one thing clear. We would not be in this position, not even close, if it weren't for the leadership of Donald J. Trump, period, right? I had the honor of sitting in the Oval Office and listening to President Trump speak with President Putin of Russia and hearing both Putin and then immediately Zelenskyy both say only under President Trump's leadership, say this to him, and only he could drive an end to this war. So under Trump, this war will end, and it will end soon, and he is the president of peace. And it amazes me how many people in this town are clutching their pearls and having conniption fits over what? Because President Trump's ready to stop the killing, stop the hundreds of thousands of people that are dying per year in Europe, the largest war in Europe since World War II. And you see the same voices that are demanding a ceasefire in Gaza post-October 7th, then what? Oppose peace in Europe? It makes no sense. But with his leadership, we've now opened negotiations. We're sitting down with our host, the Saudis, and talking to the Russians, understanding what they are going to need, and then understanding what the Ukrainians are going to need, talking to all of the Europeans. You can't end a war if you don't talk to both sides, and that's what we're doing.
Thank you.
It's kind of common sense, history of diplomacy.
It is common sense, but you do find those in the media and the critics basically saying, how can you all be talking to the Russians? This is insane, right? They criticize the efforts that the administration is doing. And with that being said, President Trump has expressed his frustration with President Zelenskyy, trying to get to the point that we're dealing with. How can we get a deal on the raw minerals? How do we, the United States has given over $175 billion to the Ukrainians. It seems like the Americans, there is that war fatigue. It's time to move forward. How are we going to get Zelenskyy, President Zelenskyy, to cooperate?
Well, so first, and this is the part that the media just wants to ignore, it was Zelenskyy last September, as part of his victory plan, it was Zelenskyy that proposed, hey, let's go into a partnership together.
Right.
If the United States will invest in us, we have aluminum, we have gallium, we have tritium, we have all of these rare earth minerals that the modern economy needs. A lot of them are not fully developed. They need investment. President Trump's a deal maker. And so now President Trump proposes the deal,
right,
and sent our Treasury Secretary all the way out to Kyiv to propose it, and then we get this rhetoric in the media. Well, look, here's the bottom line. President Zelenskyy is going to sign that deal. And you will see that in the very short term. And that is good for Ukraine. What better could you have for Ukraine than to be in an economic partnership with the United States, number one? What better could you have for Ukraine to stop the killing, number two? And you know what? We have an obligation to you all, the American taxpayer, to recoup the hundreds of billions of dollars that have been invested in this war. Because you know what? You know what Europe's contributions are? Europe's contributions are in the form of loans. And they're often paid back on the interest, by the interest on Russian assets that have been frozen. So Europe gets paid back, but the American people don't? I don't think so, right? And so that's the deal that we're putting in place that's good for everyone. And yes, you have to talk to the Russian side to understand how we're going to get both sides to the table. And that's what we're doing. Look, this is the common sense presidency. This is the presidency of peace. He's going to end the war in Europe. He is going to end the wars in the Middle East. He is going to reinvest the United States and our leadership in our own hemisphere, from the Arctic to the border to Panama, all the way down to our good friends in Argentina with Milei that you saw yesterday. And you know what? By the end of this all, we're going to have the Nobel Peace Prize sitting next to the name of Donald J. Trump. And who opposes peace? Like, I mean, how do the Democrats oppose peace?
You bring up a great question, which is who opposes peace? Yet you've seen the European leaders under President Macron trying to bring the Europeans together in dealing with the Russian and Ukraine situation. They have been unable to move the ball forward. How are we going to bring our European leaders on board?
Well, President, you know, and all, the other narrative you have in the media is, well, we're not consulting with our allies in Europe. President Trump has talked to Macron twice last week. He's coming here Monday. The Prime Minister of Britain is coming here next Thursday. We are engaging all of our European allies, absolutely. The NATO Secretary General and I just spoke. You establish peace through strength. And we have been demanding that the Europeans step up and contribute to their own defense. And as of now, a third of our NATO allies still are not contributing the minimum, which is 2% of their GDP that they committed to a year ago, or I'm sorry, 10 years ago. So that's unacceptable. And if, you know what, the Europeans want to take a bigger role in their own security, that falls in line with America First principles as far as I'm concerned, as far as President Trump's concerned. So, you know what, he's kind of rattled their cage a bit. And now they're saying, you know what, suddenly they've found more. And they're coming to the table with more. Fine by us. We've only been asking for over a decade now.